Greetings, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Today, I want us to learn something about political wisdom. So, it will be more of reading. I'll be reading to us. Okay. So, what is political wisdom? Political wisdom is the ability to understand power, people, and decisions in society and to judge them correctly and act wisely. So, political wisdom, the ability to understand power, people, and decisions in society so that you can correctly judge and act wisely. So, this goes beyond what is learned in political science. It's not just theory, it is practical insight. Okay, so knowing how power works and making sound decisions, sound judgments about leadership, policies, and society. That is what consists political wisdom. Um, what political wisdom really means as seen and appearances. Okay, so you seeing beyond appearances. So political wisdom is not just taking speeches and promises at face value. When somebody says something, you just take what the person hears. But when we talk about political wisdom, it is actually talking about understanding hidden motives behind people's actions. You don't just take people by what they say, but rather you want to go behind and then understand the reasons behind their actions. That means you are politically wise. So a wise person asks who benefits from this decision. When a decision is being made for the society, a wise person will ask who benefits from this decision that is being made on their behalf. Okay, so political wisdom also means understanding power. Who truly holds power, not just titles. How influence, money, and connections shape decisions, the decisions that are made in the society. How money and influence and connections, the connections that people have, how they shape the decisions that are made in society. So you learn that power is often behind the scenes. Power is often behind the scenes, not always visible. So the things you are hearing, there are people who are behind the scenes, who have the connections, and those are the people who are influencing everything. So somebody who is politically wise looks at all these things. Now, judging leaders correctly. So political wisdom seeks to make us judge leaders correctly, not following leaders blindly, rather evaluating based on results, not popularity. Not that somebody is popular, so whatever the person says is correct. But if you are a wise person, you want to evaluate the results to know uh, whether what is being said they really mean it or they are just seeking popularity. So political wisdom protects us from deception. So it's very important to be politically wise. Then political wisdom seeks to make us think long term. These decisions that are being made, what is the long-term effects on the society. So it helps us to avoid decisions that feel good now but can harm the society later. So if you stand for the society, you stand for the majority, you stand for people in the society, you want to avoid decisions or you want to shun away from decisions that feel good now but later is going to harm people. Some people do not have political knowledge, they are not wise politically, so they just accept things on the face value. But somebody who is politically wise seeks to go beyond the scenes and then find out so that the person can judge better and know what to stand by and what to shun. It also seeks to help us balance emotions and logic. So it helps us not to make decisions or to follow things just because you are in one party or because you are from a particular tribe, but rather you look at the long term effects of whatever is being said, how harmful or how helpful it's going to be for the society. So also political wisdom help us to understand society, knowing how culture, economy, and the history of a people shape politics. The culture that a people have, and the economy, and the history of the people itself, it helps us to understand these things. Then seeing why people behave the way they do. When you get to know a people's history, then you will understand why they support certain things or not support certain things. A particular economy will support a particular direction, but another economy will not, and you might not understand. So, the study of political wisdom help us to understand why people will go this way or people will go that way. So, in the nutshell, let's find out the difference. Just having political knowledge and also having political wisdom. What is the difference? So, political knowledge, as the word goes, is knowing facts about a particular system or a particular society, knowing them, learning and knowing them. But political wisdom, it seeks to help us use the fact that we have known from the political knowledge. It helps us to use those facts to make good judgments. Yes. So knowledge is knowing, for example, knowing that a particular society or a particular country, before they change leaders, they have to hold an election where everybody goes to vote. Then another society or another country might not use that same process. Why is it like that? So the knowledge is knowing that this particular society does election, and then the political wisdom here is knowing that when there's an election, people can use money and influence. They can use money and power to influence the results of elections. So political wisdom is deeper, going beyond the scenes to not being simple about things that are said by leaders, but rather you go beyond that to find out what might be the reason behind this decision or what might be the reason why these people are saying this. So why does it matter? Does political wisdom matter in daily life? Yes, political wisdom helps us to avoid being manipulated by propaganda and makes us make better voting decisions. So if you have political knowledge, you know who is coming to help or who is not coming to help. It helps us to understand business, taxes and policies in the country, leadership changes. So this is what political wisdom seeks to help us with. And then it helps us to navigate leadership and influence in our own work and community. Maybe you are a leader When you have political wisdom, it helps you to help your community better so that you don't support colleagues when they say things that will not help the masses, but rather you go deeper to find out if this is going to help us all or is going to just help some people, whether they are biased decisions or they are decisions that's going to help the whole nation. So, in summary, political wisdom is the skill of understanding how power truly works and making intelligent, balanced decisions about it. So, thank you so much for your time. See you next time. Bye.